You can have the nicest e-bike in the world and you're not going anywhere if you have flat tires. An often overlooked thing on any bike is correct tire pressure. It's literally where the rubber meets the road. But how do you know what pressure to air your tires up? They all use a wide range of tire pressures. And how do you know the right one for your bike? I'm Dusty with Magnum Bikes Product Support, and today we're going to be talking about how to check your tire pressure. Where to find your tire pressure on your bike. It differs on all different models and tires and bikes. You'll find it on the sidewall of your tire, which is right here. And it will list the bar, which is the European standard, and it'll also list PSI, which we use in the United States. You don't want to go below the minimum, you don't want to go over the maximum. When to use both? The minimum pressure is going to give you better traction in certain conditions. It will also give you a cushier ride, but it makes your bike more prone to pinch flats, which is where you smash into a curb or some other object and your rim actually pinches your tube in between it and the ground. They call them snake bites too. And if your tire pressure is way too low, it could make your tire blow off the rim and cause a crash and cause injury or death. Adequate tire pressure is also super important for efficiency and for correct traction. You want enough, but not too much, just like so many things in life. The right tire pressure for you is going to depend on the conditions, your body weight, and your preferences. I like a middle-of-the-range tire pressure. I'm a middle-of-the-range guy in height and weight and talent, and I also I like a good amount of grip and efficiency, so I like a mix. If you're a 200-pound plus rider, you're probably gonna want a higher pressure than someone who's 120 pounds. Facts of life. So you'll wanna pay attention to the minimum and max, and don't go over the max or your tire could blow off the rim. Don't go under the minimum or you could get a pinch flat or lose control and have kind of a wallowy feel in your steering. So you want to find that sweet spot for your weight, riding style, and preferences. So now that you know the minimum and maximum range for your tire, how do you check it? You can just do the squeeze test. It's not very accurate though. I feel like my squeeze test is pretty good, but I find I'm often wrong. So a tire pressure gauge is also good. You can use the same one that you would use on a car. All Magnum bikes use a Schrader valve, which is the same kind of valve that you'll find on any automobile. So you can use just your standard automotive tire pressure gauge, and you'll notice that they have PSI and bar on them usually. This one's only PSI. You can also use a tire pressure gauge if your pump has one. This is the preferred method, I think. And that will usually have bar and PSI too. Many of them also have a nice little marking that you can set to your desired pressure. So you don't even have to think about it. You just know that that's where you like to air up your bike to. If you're going to use the automotive one, you'll remove the cap and press it down until you get a good seal. You don't want to be hearing air leaking out the side. That's probably not a good enough seal. That tells me that this is about 35 PSI, which just so happens to be about where I like it. That time I got a better seal and it's giving me a higher reading of like 37. The minimum on this tire is 22 PSI, the maximum is 60 PSI. So we are in the middle of that zone, although knowing this tire like I do, it's a little bit skinny, I've ridden it a bit, I like running it 40 to 50 PSI, depending on where I'm riding. If I'm riding in the city, I would run it at a higher pressure. If I'm riding it off-road or on a rails to trails gravel situation, I'd probably run it at a lower pressure. A higher volume fat tire on, for instance, our Ranger or another fat tire bike is gonna run quite a bit lower pressure than other tires. So it's a good idea to never assume that you know the pressure of a certain tire. I always check. Now that you're at the right pressure, if your tires have changed quickly in a couple hours or the next day, you probably have a slow to moderate leak and you may need sealant or a new tube. Before you do that, you'll want to make sure you don't have any thorns or other protrusions or objects sticking into the tire. If you need help changing your tire or tube or changing a flat in general, we made a video for that. Click the link in the corner. That's all you should need to know to check your pressure. It's a good idea to check with 2 devices or the pinch test and a gauge just in case your gauge is off. If there's something you feel we've missed, tell us in the comments. Thanks. Like and subscribe for more content.